Following on from last year's The Miseducation of Cameron Post, Boy Erased is the tale of the son of a Baptist preacher who is forced to participate in a church-supported gay conversion program after being forcibly outed to his parents. It's based on the true story of Garrard Conley, and it's just shocking to me that this can happen to young people with no evidence that I could find that it actually works or has any kind of positive results. Just a few minutes on the internet turn up stories of psychological abuse, physical threats, and multiple people attempting to and actually committing suicide as a result of these places, which are still legal in over 30 states, as well as here in the United Kingdom, despite promises by the government that they will be outlawed back in June of 2018. Now, I don't have children, which is why I borrow my nephew whenever I'm off to see a children's film, but the idea of sending one to one of these places makes my skin crawl. Perhaps that's why this film is shot so drably, without colour or humour, as this is one of the most depressing films I've seen for a while. It's a film with no real villains, just people doing what they think is best for their child, and their child suffering because of it. Sadly though, whilst I have nothing but the deepest loathing for these places, there's a lot wrong with this film. Director Joel Edgerton has assembled a cast of heavyweights including Maximus Decius Meridius, Nicole Kidman, as well as up-and-coming Lucas Hedges in the lead, but this film just feels so flat. Part of it is the decision to shoot it with such a dull colour palette, which might have been better used purely at the centre to denote what the main character is feeling whilst there, and then using normal colours whilst in the real world, but keeping the film 100% dull means that it's also tough to get invested, and the use of flashbacks is jarring. I mean, they have a place, as much as flashbacks ever do, but here they just appear with very little placement in the timeline of the film. Hell, sometimes I didn't even realise that these were flashbacks until later on in the film when they were referenced. Putting up a simple 3 months earlier wouldn't have hurt. Also, none of the characters get much development. Maximus gets a sort of redemption arc, but the main character just remains a dull grey cipher. Beyond the fact that he plays Splinter Cell, we learn almost nothing about him, which is definitely down to the writing more than the fault of the actors. Kidman does well as a mother struggling with her own belief system, and there is subtlety in how the film refuses to turn characters into easy villains, viewing them instead with empathy. Sadly though, the lack of any emotional attachment or character development means that when a character realises what they've been doing or two characters argue, it never carries any weight for the viewer. It all feels so terribly earnest, and I wonder if in trying for subtlety and empathy the film has lost the opportunity to start the conversation that it seems so desperate to have. It's a conversation that we need to have until these places are illegal. Look, have a different colour palette for each location. Give your actors something to chew on, and there is an affecting story here to be told. But when there's a film like The Miseducation of Cameron Post available, which tells much the same story, but in a much more effective and affecting way, I can't recommend this film. Coming across more as a message film than a story, but sadly sacrificing effective storytelling in a bid to get that message across. Boy Erased is a well-meaning missed opportunity, which is doing exactly what well-meaning missed opportunities do. It's getting critical praise, a few award nods, and just about making back its budget before heading to schools to be debated in ethics classes from now until the end of time. So sadly, I think that you should skip it. But what do you guys think? And what's been the most affecting true life story that you've seen on the big screen? Comment below, let me know. I'm Daniel, it's been a dunking. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe.